Handmaid's Tale. Now, this is produced and created by Hulu, and you know that I just love saying Hulu, and it's the first of their dramas really to sort of get any major traction. And it was bought by Channel 4, basically after pretty much an online campaign where we were hearing lots about it, but it didn't have a UK distributor. It stars Elizabeth. Now, it's not Elisabeth Moss, is it? Or
It is.
Elisabeth Moss.
Who I actually, Gary, was in the company of last night.
Ah.
When I was at was it
another Italian meal?
No, actually not last night. The night before, Tuesday night. I'm forgetting what night we're on now. When I went to another screening of Top of the Lake series 2.
Yes, I've heard that gets quite good in the second series as well.
Yeah, she's very charming as Elisabeth Moss.
Now, The Handmaid's Tale is another series that's based on a book, and I believe that after this weekend's first showing, the book sales went through the roof.
Yeah, it went number one on the list somewhere.
Yeah, on Amazon, I think, and things like that, which is where also there's an ice cream van outside. Do excuse me while I just salivate. The basic premise of this is that it's in an alternative or dystopian version of America, where the country has been overrun and taken and captured, and people are living in non-free lives. So you see the very first scene, she's running away with her daughter and her husband. She gets captured. We don't know why. And the next time you see her, she's dressed in this kind of like nun-type uniform and is working for now her second family.
She's wearing a wimple, is it? It's like a red hooded coat with a wimple.
It transpires that she is part of this handmaid's order, and they are basically there to help procreate and be carriers of children for military husbands whose wives cannot conceive. Yeah. Although it seems like it's set in the past, because they actually go out and they use rationing to buy things from supermarkets. There's a lot of furore over some oranges being available. My nan would be certain to relate to that. Actually, this is set in modern America. Yeah. So you get a lot of monologue from Elisabeth Moss's character. I'm sure Luke won't like that. And basically, you get the explanation of the fact that she's the different people that she's interacting, how bored and how subservient she feels. Back at this kind of handmaid's order, this kind of older nun sister type situation is kind of instructing them on their. There's various scenes throughout the episode of her shouting and beating young women. At one point, she brings forward a man who raped one of the handmaids. He's not one of the elite. He's just a commoner. And it turns out that the handmaid was a friend of Elisabeth Moss's character. She had an abortion and she had a miscarriage and died.
Yeah. And
this guy is responsible. So in kind of like a frontier justice, the handmaids are given a couple of minutes to kick the living hell out of him.
Mm.
And Elisabeth Moss takes her frustration out on him.
You basically lose your name and...
yes, your name is changed.
Because her name is Offred, which is basically Offred because her...
Yeah. But her real name is June. I did remember that. Yes. I don't know why.
Because Joseph Fiennes' character is Fred Waterford. Also in this is Alexis Bledel of Gilmore Girls fame. She's sort of her... partner who she's very sort of...
I only really recognised her right at the end because obviously with the wimple on it's very difficult sometimes to see who it was. I don't know, I really enjoyed this. I was intrigued. I sat and watched it in one sitting, which is always a good thing when it's something you're not sure about. And I think this is an excellent pickup for Channel 4. I think definitely. Elisabeth Moss is really, really good. I mean, she carries... it's her voice, it's her appearance that keeps the show moving. And I think although they kind of, I know Luke, it annoys Luke, the voiceovers and things, but it did explain
it worked.
What could have been quite a strange, if you didn't explain things, it could have appeared very unusual.
It's really hard going to start off with.
Yeah, there's no easy explanation.
No, I was really struggling with it, and I was about to sort of put it down and come back to it, but then... I think it was like when we started to get the flashbacks that I got into it a bit more.
Yes,
I mean, as you say,
Elisabeth
Moss is really, really good. She's got one of the most expressive faces in acting at the moment.
I would not be surprised if this may garner her an Emmy nomination.
This or the Top of the Lake, which she
would Top of the Lake get her Emmys? I don't know.
They were saying that it was. They said they did with the first one because they were discussing the second series from when they were all at the Emmys. But yeah, it's a very hard watch. But I thought, they set the scene well. I'm not completely hooked, but I think I'm
Okay.
going to give it another episode to see, what it does next.
Yep.
That scene at the end with Alexis Bledel and Elizabeth Moss sort of
It did open
me.
it up nicely, didn't
Opened
it?
it up nicely. Yeah. You'll see. There's 8 episodes of this, so
Yeah, if there was any more than 8, I would be a bit concerned about where the story would go. But I think that's a good one.